Rural Heritage on RFD TV is brought to you by Rural Heritage Magazine, a bi-monthly magazine featuring articles about farming and logging with draft animal power, small-scale diversified family farming and homesteading, and other aspects of our rich rural heritage. Rural Heritage Magazine, borrowing from yesterday to do the work of today. For subscription information, please call 319-362-3027 or order online at www.ruralheritage.com. Hi, I'm Joe Mishka. Welcome to another episode of Rural Heritage TV.
Kind of my ideas on what I thought we might could do. I've got my one-line stuff in a single stretcher, and there's a lot of these logs out in here that are little enough that I can just use one mule and just get them out here like we got these, just come out and bunch them. And then when we get them bunched, we'll just come in here and make an open area for the wagon to turn around. And there's a log way down there in the road. I don't know if you can see it, but it's big.
Yeah, it is big.
And they can't pull that.
Right.
They just can't. I ain't even gonna ask them to.
Right.
So what I'll do is I'll just get the wagon down there fairly close. I'll take the machine, pick it up, and set it on the wagon.
Yeah, then they can move it.
Then they can move it.
Right.
You know, now if I had 4 mules, and I do got them colts at home, if I had 4 good mules that was trained, that wouldn't be a problem.
Right.
You just go down there and hook the log cart to it, come on out with it.
Right.
You know, I don't have a pair of 2,200 pounds.
It takes weight to pull weight.
But see, average timber, this is average for Tennessee.
Yeah, okay.
Right here.
All right.
And my mules can handle this, no problem.
Right.
You know, but now that stuff down there, that's a little above average. We don't get into that a lot. And, you know, I mean, like this timber, it's kind of sporadic, spread out. And really, to be honest with you, this job is not one of those jobs. It's not a prime timber sale. You know, this job is we're going in and we're taking out the bad. He wants all the bad gone, you know, stuff that ain't gonna make a prime tree later.
Right.
And most of this back in here has been clear cut, and we're right on the edge of this clear cut. And we just started this job, so we're at the very, very back. This is the worst part of the whole job.
Okay.
But you don't want to be going through your tops.
Right.
You know, you want to work want to work your way out.
Retreat towards the road.
Yeah.
Right.
So my idea for today is just to get them out here to the road. And like I say, we'll probably use like tongs and a single stretcher. I might use both mules. It depends on how big they are.
Sure.
You can get around better with one.
Right.
And you know, you can see how all that mess is, how thick it is.
Right.
And how jumbled up it is. If you got a mess like that, a single mule works better.
Right.
Because you can just get in there, turn them around, hook your tongs, go. And they ain't got to go very far. And that's the joy about running skid tongs.
Right.
Is when you ain't got to go very far, hook the tongs, drag it 20, 30 feet, 50 feet, whatever, unhook.
Bust them loose.
Yeah. And you can be productive like that. You know, we're not trying to carry these logs a long way.
Right.
We just want to get them out here where this machine can get them.
Get them staged.
And get them on the wagon. And then when we get them on the wagon, get them out to the road.
Perfect.
That's the idea. We don't get paid until that log leaves that stump and gets to the mill.
Right.
There's a lot of in between.
Yes, sir.
We're going to have some white oak, a little bit of white oak, a lot of red oak. This part of Tennessee is red oak country.
Okay.
We got a lot of red oak. You know, different pockets of the country, like over in Missouri, they've got pockets of a lot of white oak and a lot of walnut. Around here, we got a lot of poplar and a lot of red oak.
Poplar being yellow poplar?
Yes, tulip poplar.
Hard softwood?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And a lot of the poplar goes to like building lumber, furniture, and then a lot of the nastier stuff, the knottier type, it goes for pallet wood.
Right.
And we've got a pallet mill up here. In fact, the Amish that's going to be sawing these tie logs, they'll take the jacket lumber that comes off the outside and send it for pallet wood.
Nice.
So, you know, it'll get used.
Yeah, that's great.
But there's no right way and a wrong way to do it. You know, you got to figure out what's going to work best for the situation at hand. And in my opinion, and what I've been taught by a few guys over the years that has logged a long time, you got to use a tool that best suits the job for that day.
Right.
That's what I like about mule horse logging.
Right.
It's because there ain't no day ever the same.
Last year, we came out with our 4th volume in our America's Rural Yesterday series and included it in discounts customers get when ordering 2 or more. That promotion was so successful that we've now run out of the 3rd book in the collection, At Home and in Town, and won't be reprinting it until sometime later this year. We'll send the word out when that happens, but in the meantime, for the next several months, we're offering the other 3 books, Fieldwork, Barn and Farmyard, and Early Tractors, for $54.95 plus postage. Fieldwork shows horses working the ground, planting and harvesting the crops. Barn and Farmyard shows farmers putting away that crop and taking care of poultry, hogs, cattle, and more. Finally, Early Tractors shows early American tractors like Alice Chalmers, Oliver, John Deere, Farmall, and more when they were new. Buy any of the books for $24.95 plus postage, or all 3 for the special price of $54.95 plus shipping. Just call 319-362-3027 or visit ruralheritage.com. That's 319-362-3027.
You. All right. Easy. Go ahead. Easy. Easy. You little. Easy. You little. You. Whoa, whoa. Oh. Oh, whoop, whoop, whoop. All right, easy. 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 Whoa. Now, Joe, there'll be a lot of people will wonder at times why I just let her go.
Right.
Well, that stall was sticking out there. Why would I try to run over that stall? She knows what she's doing, you know?
Right.
So in some situations, I'll drop my line and let her go. I won't let her go far.
Right. Because if you were holding that line,
Yeah.
when you're going over that stump, you might end up jerking the line a little bit.
Yeah.
Or fooling with
Yep.
it, and there's just no new reason for
And you could trip,
it. Right.
you know.
Right.
All right, easy. Easy, easy. Yep. Whoa. Oh, whoop. Oh, stand up. Oh, whoop. Oh, easy. All right. You little. Whoa. Adjust this G-string just a little. You want to get in a little bit of a hurry, so let's tighten you up a notch or two. How about that? Take her easy. All right. Now come up. Okay. Easy. Settle down. Whoa. All right, now stand up a little bit. Whoa. All right, try that. Easy. 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 Yep. Yep. Whoa. Right now, one thing that Jeff taught me that I thought was a really good thing to know when you're using these tongs, I guess the same thing would apply to like grabs. Not real sure on choker chain, probably would. But when you're skidding with these tongs, see how that log's got some swell?
Oh yeah.
You want to hook on the small end, not the swelled end. If you hook on that swell end, it'll plow in the dirt a lot harder.
Right.
Whereas with that end, if you hook on the small end, and what little bit of lift you do get, it'll sort of teeter on one of them back flares. It pulls a lot easier.
You bet. Yep.
And like these tongs, compared to a single choker,
yeah.
If you were to set a single choker on top,
right.
That's where it's going to end up.
Right.
If you put it on the side, it's going to roll.
Right, right.
Well, if it winds up on top, look how high that is.
Yeah, it'll be pulling it down.
Yeah, because her stretcher, I mean, she's 16.1. Her stretcher won't never get high enough to pull it up.
Right.
You know, no matter how short you hooked her.
Right.
Now, you will gain a little bit by hooking them shorter. And these single stretchers with these chains on it, the way I've got it rigged, versus a single tree, you will lose just a little bit of lift. But what you gain from the stretcher makes up for the lift. Because you don't get all this rocking.
Right.
A single tree's got a single pivot point in the middle.
Right.
It'll rock, where these single stretchers don't. Whenever they go to turning, it'll keep even pressure on their shoulders. You know, and it makes them square, turn more square. For me, now everybody can do, a man can do what he wants to. You know, a lot of the old timers here in Tennessee that logged a lot, this is what they use. And I think back then the primary reason for these stretchers was not so much the rocking, but it was just the fact they couldn't get steel.
Okay.
You know what I mean? In a wood single tree, they just break them.
Right.
You get a big pair of mules that really know how to pull, they just walk right through it.
Right. Right.
Or horses, big horses.
Right.
But with this stretcher,
See,
you're transferring your load from your trace chains through this chain.
Right. It's just keeping them apart.
That's it.
Stretching them.
And on a double stretcher, which is what we'll use with two, you don't have that pivot point, so you don't get all this seesawing.
Yeah.
When one mule gets ahead, it gets more load. So it's kind of sort of like stay chains that'll sort of help them stay together.
Right.
Especially a young mule and an older mule. One that really knows how to pull and one that don't. That one that knows how to pull, he's going to get more load and let that other one catch up. See what I'm saying?
I do. Yeah, yeah.
All right, Kate. Kate. Come on, you can do it. Whoop. Yeah, little. Yep. Yep. Yeah, yeah. Listen to me now. We ain't gonna get it without you listening. Yeah. 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 Get out of the bushes. It ain't time to eat. Now come up. Whoa. We'll just leave it. We'll come back with two and get it. He ain't gonna hurt you. Snap cold. There it goes. Yeah. Joe, have you ever seen anybody work with a jerk line?
Ronnie.
Yeah.
Just in videos though.
It's a little bit more work getting them split, you know, and this and that. You know, splitting them up,
right.
Rigging them, each one of them separate.
Right.
It's a little bit more work, but I tell you, when you work them a good bit single, man, it makes them so much better. You know, they're just, in my opinion, there's nothing better you can do for them working them single.
Hi, I'm Joe Mishka. You probably know me as the guy behind the camera on our television program, Rural Heritage TV. I want to talk to you a little bit about our magazine. Since 1976, Rural Heritage Magazine has been bringing readers stories and photos about people working with draft animals, homesteading, restoring farm equipment, and otherwise borrowing from yesterday to do the work of today. Here's a sampling of some of the stories we covered recently. A one-year subscription costs $34.95 and includes 6 issues of over 100 pages each. To subscribe or get a sample copy, call 319-362-3027 or visit ruralheritage.com. That's 319-362-3027. Remember, if you like the TV show, you're going to love the magazine.
I do a lot of thinking.
Sure, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do, yeah. It's a chess game.
It is.
Figuring out what you got to do down the road.
Well, sometimes if you're not careful, you can block yourself in.
Absolutely.
You know, so I kind of try to think about, okay, where do I need to start this thing? And when I'm cutting timber, I think a lot. You know, I've seen some timber cutters, and I started cutting timber when I was 14,
Okay.
when I was his age, with my granddaddy, my Uncle Larry, my Uncle Donnie. And that's the way they taught me, you know, was to think about things. Don't get in a hurry. And I've seen some timber cutters that fly in there, and and I know what they're doing. They're getting paid by the board foot,
Right.
and they're trying to make a living.
Right.
But you're no good making a living if you're dead.
Right.
If you break your neck or break your back, you know, and this stuff out here, man, it can kill you.
Absolutely.
And I tell people that almost all the time. I say, look, this can kill you.
Logging is violent.
It is. You know, you would think felling the trees would be the worst part, but when you get up in one of them tops and you start bucking and there's a lot of load tension on it, if you don't really pay attention to what you're doing and you just whack it off, that thing can fly back and hit you and it still kill you.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's what I tell him. I said, look, I pay you by the hour, not by the foot. Take your time. Keep yourself safe. I said, there ain't nothing we're doing out here worth you getting hurt over. And me neither. Because we're not good to our family. You know, we're not good to anybody.
Right.
And I don't want to get my mules hurt either. You know, that's another thing. One thing probably that I've learned, you know, since I've been dealing with stock, and I've learned it from different people at different times really, is if you want an animal that'll stay quiet, some horses and mules, either one, some of them are just born quiet, and some of them ain't. But the man driving them has more to do with how that pair of animals is going to act in the woods than the animal itself. If that man will stay calm and easy and not get them in a hurry, let that animal take its time and just work slow and methodical. The slower the better. The slower you can work an animal, the quicker you're going to get hooked, the quicker you're going to get turned around. You ain't tripping over stuff. You're not going to fall and hurt yourself. Again, if you hurt yourself, you're no good. You've lost all that production that you gained by trying to go faster.
Right.
If you'll slow down and just tiptoe around, let them tiptoe around, let them take their time, get turned around, hook them. Slow is fast.
Right.
Smooth is fast.
Right.
You know.
They don't wear out as fast.
That's right.
They stay.
That's right. And you know, we're in it today for the long haul. We got all this stretched down through here. I don't know. There's probably, I'd hate to really guess, an accurate guess. I would say there's probably 3,000 feet scattered out through here, just guessing.
All right.
You know, and 3,000 feet for us is 2 bob truck loads.
Right.
We would like to get 3 bob truck loads today if we can. If we can't, that's all right. And that's what I told him. I said, we're not going to push. We're just getting started. We want to kind of spool up slow. I don't want to push him. I don't want to push me. And I don't want to push the mules either. You know, on the last job we was on, we had a lot of cleanup work to do for our landowner. And we cleaned the whole place up with the skid steer, and we just got this skid steer. We've had it now, I don't know, a month or so. But we did a lot of cleanup work, so the mules kind of stood around a while. So, you know, they're not hardened up right now. You know, so I don't want to ask a whole lot of them either. I want to give them time to just sort of come back easy, you know.
You bet.
You little. You little. Whoa. I'll just give you a kind of a quick rundown on this one line deal, in case maybe somebody don't understand.
Right.
I can't tell you where it originated from. You know, the 20 mule borax team used it. A lot of Conestoga freight wagons back in the day used it. Civil War teams used it. We use it here in Tennessee still a lot. In fact, Mr. Summers, he's the one that helped me a lot with one line. Mr. Ronnie Tucker, you know, that's primarily where I learned it. But the quick rundown is this. It's not very hard to concept to understand. You've got this one line. When you give her a good steady pull, that goes haul, like you would with team line. And then if you'll take that line and just flick it, or give it just a little pop, a little jerk, you ain't got to be rough with it. She'll take, whenever that line, when it does that little wave and it hits her bit, she'll pick her head up.
Okay.
Now come right here. This is what we call a G-string. It's just attached to her hands and up to her bit. When she picks her head up,
Really?
see?
Is that how it works?
That's how it
I
works.
didn't know that.
Now, if she's going too fast, you tighten her up. That's what I did a while ago.
Okay.
Now, after she settles in, she may go to walking with her head to the right. Let her, give her a little slack, give her head when she's walking straight. Now, in the beginning, you know, it takes them a little while to get used to it, because when you jerk the line, they'll kind of pick their head up, but they won't move their feet.
Okay.
Same thing as whenever you train them to be bridle-wise as colts.
Right.
But when they learn it, and you know, if they're not responding to one line like you want them to, tighten it up. The tighter your G-string is, the more response you get. And then, heck, like Ronnie's mules, when you get them short enough broke, you just take it off.
Right.
You don't even need it.
They just know that flick.
Yeah. And like another thing that Ronnie does, and I've done it too, when you got your hip spreader,
Right.
and I'll run my line through it sometimes. When I'm working them single, I like not using it.
Right, because it interferes with your access.
Yeah. But Ronnie, I put an extra ring right here,
Okay.
and it'll rattle. And then all he has to do is just, he'll rattle that ring and she'll go to the right. They learn that.
Yeah.
Mine know whenever I take that line and hit them in the belly.
Okay.
See, like some people say, well, you're just talking to them and that's what makes her do. Well, watch this. See?
Yeah.
See how she picked her head up?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now,
You're
and
turning
then,
her right from the left-hand side.
and then when I want her to come back, and this further enforces voice commands. If you want them to learn G and haw, this right here will do it. Because when you say ye, Kate, you, see how she turns? I didn't do nothing. But the reason why she knows that is because when I'm training them, when I first start in on the team, I'll tell them G first. And then when they don't G, I'll use that line. And that line's just a little rougher
Right.
than like I say a set of team line.
Right.
And she'll learn that. She'll say, okay, when he says G, I better get going. So, all right. All right, Kate. Come up, little.
That was great.
This program is available for purchase. To order your copy, please call 319-362-3027 or visit www.ruralheritage.com. Rural Heritage is a bi-monthly magazine dedicated to draft animal farming and logging, as well as other aspects of our rich rural heritage. It is published by Mishka Press, which also offers a complete line of Back to the Land books, DVDs, and calendars. Call or write for a catalog or subscription information, or visit our website at www.ruralheritage.com.